Hello, welcome to Undead Yarn. This is episode 110. My name is Heidi, and you can find me on Ravelry as Knitty Girl, and on YouTube as Knitty Girl, and Twitter and Instagram as Undead Yarn. And yes, I'm still on Ravelry. I happen to be one of the people who thinks that I actually applaud their policy. I think that we should be aware of gender bias, of homophobia, and of racism. As a woman, I myself have had a lot of issues, actually starting in elementary school. I developed early, and some boys just thought it was okay to grab you, and that's not cool. Um, so I agree with their policy, and I will continue to be on Ravelry. So, anyway, that aside, I have a lot to talk about today. First of all, it's July, and that means I have been dyeing and podcasting for 6 years, which makes me very happy. I was so excited when I first started dyeing. I found my passion. I mean, when I was growing up, my passion really was reading and writing. So I went to school to be a teacher, an English teacher, but when I got to the actual student teaching, it wasn't for me. I didn't feel like the kids were all that interested in what I had to say. And I eventually ended up going back to school to become a speech pathologist. And I think that's a better fit for me. But I didn't find knitting until I was about 35, which was a while ago, 2006. And if you had told me when I was younger that I would be enjoying that, no, I wouldn't have agreed with you at all. But knitting led to crocheting, led to spinning, led to dyeing. So yeah, I kind of fell down the whole rabbit hole. Here I am. So I'm going to start off with what I've been working on. I actually have been working on quite a few things, a little off and on, but I'll show you each one. This is in a Tangerine Designs bag, and I don't think she's making bags anymore. I haven't heard from her in a long time, but I do like that there's this little clip, because whenever there's a clip on something, I can clip it on my purse or I can clip it on my wheel. So in here, and look, here's her little button. In here, I have, this is going to be the second skein. This is one of my Roadkill colorways, but I started knitting with the Killer in the Home colorway, the one that is my tribute to Adamant. This is what it looks like, and I started this at Houston Fiber Fest, and I was going to do a Raina shawl, but then every time, I kept getting interrupted and talking and all that kind of stuff, so I really couldn't pay attention to what I was doing. So thus I thought, I have not knit a blanket with my yarn. So I started one of those side to side. I don't remember where I got the pattern, but it's basically the same pattern that everybody does for those dishcloths, the grandma's favorite dishcloth, but this is going to be a blanket. So I am definitely using 2 skeins, depending on how big it is. I might use 3. So I think these 2 will go well. This one has some purple and blue in it, so it's going to be a little different, but I still think that they'll blend together well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the third one. I was going to do Rio, but then when I put them together, I was like, no. They're too different. And this one is more pinky mahogany than red, so I need another skein that's more red, so we'll see. I did have 2 of these, but somebody bought one, so I quickly threw this one in my box so I would have one that would match. I was like, no, don't take it. Because I didn't write down, that's one of the ones I did not write down my directions for that. So, so this is the blanket, and let me show you again what the colorway looks like. Killer in the Home. I'm not sure if I have any pre-orders up for that right now. I sold the first couple, so I'll probably, if I don't, I will put some more up. As far as Etsy goes, I'm very disappointed in Etsy right now. I do have a few things that I have free shipping on. But that's what they're pushing. And it's like, you know what? We're not Amazon. We're small business people. And I don't think that raising my price by the amount of shipping, you're not going to trick people. People don't have enough sense to know that you're raising your price so you can have shipping. Plus, if I'm going to ship overseas, I'm not going to put it up $13. I don't know. I just am not happy with their policies right now, but it's hard to switch, you know? I mean, it'd be a whole new system to learn, and I feel like there's a lot of choices out there. My first thought is I might try to do it through Instagram and Facebook. So if you don't follow me as Undead Yarn on Instagram, go ahead and do that, because that's probably my first thought about where I'm going to start trying to sell my goods. I might do Shopify, but I don't know. I don't really want to be dragged into another system. It's just disappointing. But anyway, let me move on. That's my first work in progress. My second one, I am trucking along on this one. It's in my Loopy Groupy bag, my Delaque Loopy Groupy bag. From the Loopy U. Oh, I just dropped it. All right, well, I'm on my last ball of yarn. For this, I am knitting the Wrapped in Lino, and it's from Espace Tricot. And here it is. And I'm using, like I said, it's handpaintedjarn.com. I don't believe they're in business anymore. But this is their boucle, and it's basically hand-spun yarn that they plied together and put these little, I forget what you call them. They're not neps. They're like little cocoons in the yarn. So I'm on the last part. I stopped because I have to, it's an asymmetrical shawl. It starts with short rows right here. And then it goes on to just being, you get to a certain point and then you just keep knitting at that certain point. So it's the same length width for a long time. And then you get here, and where I am now is where I need to start doing short rows again. So the ending will be like this. And I'm hoping when I block it, it will stay straight. There's no garter on the edge, so I guess I'm going to have to do some serious blocking. I usually wet block stuff, but I did recently do a steam block because I needed to get it done quickly for DFW, and I didn't bring that one down. I'll talk about that one later, though. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping this will block out. It might be tricky, though, because it's basically stockinette all the way through. So we shall see. And you can see I have a few areas where I made a mistake. Like I have a couple of ridges, like purl ridges. I'm not worried about it. This yarn is so busy, it's hard to notice. It's going to be hard to notice it. Plus, it'll be wrapped around me. Who's going to see that? It's a design element, right? Okay, so that is a second finished object. Oh, not finished object. Dropped a pin. Okay, my third one is in my Harvey bag, my Screw You Harvey bag by Erin Lane. Whoops, upside down. This way. I have one thing to say about, this is not the only bag that I have like this, but I will tell you guys, I've had it with these ribbon things. These ribbon pulls, they're no good. Look. This always ends up happening. They fray off. Or, I had another one that the whole thing just kind of, like it just fell out. Like the ribbon lost its, I don't know what, but it just fell out. I do like this part, because that was clipped on my handbag. So when I went to Philadelphia last week to visit my brother and my nephews, and my sister-in-law, when I went to visit them, I had this clipped on my bag, so it was very convenient. But in my Erin Lane bag, I am working on an old vintage skein of Undead yarn. And I never named this one. This was like a roadkill. I was trying to make Monster High, you know, the self-striping Monster High, but I ended up with green instead of pink. So I kept this one for myself, and I started knitting it. I was like, oh, I love it. But I started knitting this a long time ago. I can't even remember when. So this is one of my whips. You know how I'm trying to start whipping down? This is another one of my whips, and I'm having a lot of fun with this because I don't know, I just haven't knit with my own self-striping in a long time since I don't make it anymore. I did save a couple of skeins for myself, but yeah, I haven't done that in a while. And here's the ball. So that's in this bag. And this is my other one. Ooh. And this one I just have in a Yellow Rose bag. When I was one of the sponsors for Yellow Rose, she gave us all these bags, and I used them at Zombie Apocalypse to give people their purchases. But you can see it has my logo on it. It has other people on there that were sponsors. So anyway, this is Fleece Flight by Ninja Chickens. And I'm going to have to go back and count, but I think I'm up to the point where I'm going to go to the next color. This one was a Cotswold by Ross Farm. It's a Cotswold by Ross Farm. These are all worsted weight yarns, and I have to pick the next one. I think I'm going to pick one of the darker ones. I'm going to try to probably alternate. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a brown or a gray, but it will be one of, this one might be my next one, because it's not too stark of a contrast. I might do this one next. And this one is from Fern Fiber. I don't believe they are not in business anymore either. But this was one of the Fern Fiber, and that was Ninja Chickens. And this one is, let's see, what is, oh, this is Navajo Churro, and it's really soft. Surprising to me, because I spun some Navajo Churro, and it was really rough. But this is very nice. And it's actually 100% Navajo Churro. So it goes with Fleece Flight, which is supposed to be a bunch of the rare breed yarns. I don't know if Cotswold is rare breed. I'd have to look it up. I know Navajo Churro is a rare breed yarn. So I think that's going to be my next one. And I think I'm going to, this one is kind of rough, but I don't mind rustic. I kind of enjoy it as long as it's not painful. Like, I think linen to me hurts, and sometimes worsted weight cotton hurts to knit with, but it doesn't hurt to knit with it. It's just crispy. And this one feels squishy though, so this will be fun to knit with. I think that's going to be my next one. I'm going to use the Fern Fiber Navajo Churro. And this is basically, the whole shawl is garter, but it's garter and short rows, or you use short row shaping. So here's my first triangle, and this is going to be the second triangle. So those are all the things that I have been working on. And I don't know what happened, but I went on like a winding spree, and I found a bunch of yarn thinking, oh, I'm going to start knitting all this stuff. Have I knit it? No. I'm trying not to like go crazy with adding too many new things to the shop because, or not shop, to what I'm knitting, because I feel like I'm never finishing anything. And I already have like piles of project bags lined around my desk upstairs that have whips in them. So anyway, I did wind up the Rio, and I broke down and bought the Ripple Bralette pattern. I can't remember who wrote that. But I bought that because I think that I would not wear this by itself, the Ripple Bralette, but I would wear it underneath stuff, and I think it might be kind of fun because I have a lot of things that have deep V's, and I always end up wearing either one of those things that you clip to your bra underneath, or I wear a tank top underneath. And this would be nice because it won't go all the way down, so I won't get as much bulk. It will be more like you know, like a little bra underneath. And I will wear it with a bra because I have to. But anyway, so this is going to be the next project probably that I do. But I did also wind some yarn. Let me put this down where it's going to go. in my Stardust colorway. And this one I kept because it didn't come out the right way. It came out a lot more yellow than it should. So this one I kept for myself. And this is going to be a t-shirt. And I think I'm going to use, there's a pattern I got from Janice Ficker, who does, I can't remember which yarn company she does, but she had like the Ultimate Tee or something like that, and has tons of sizes in it. I even got an update recently. So I'm going to be knitting that with this when I get around to it. I'm probably going to do the bralette first because I think, because I think that will be a faster knit. So I wound all that yarn, and I was going to wind more, and I'm like, you haven't even used what you wound. Stop. So anyway, then I guess my next thing to talk about, oh, and I finished the baby hat that I was making for my friend, so next time I see her, Deborah, next time I see you, I will bring it to you. Next thing I wanted to talk about is Houston Fiber Fest. It was fabulous, just like last year. My first day was amazing, and I thought the second day was going to be just the same, and it wasn't. I was kind of sad, but overall, I did just as well as I did the year before, so I'm happy. That's a good show. I probably won't do any more shows. Ever since I got home from that, I'm having all kinds of pain in my leg and my hip. I've been having hip pain. I think I talked about that in my last podcast, but now it's like going down my leg, and it hasn't gone away. So next week I'm going to go to the doctor and get a referral for PT. I'm going to break down and do it. He recommended it to me last time I went, and I just didn't. I felt like I didn't have the time, and I don't think I really did. My school year was crazy, but got a month and a half left, so at least I am hoping I can get started on some PT and get some ideas for what kind of things I can do to make it better. At first I thought I had bursitis, but I'm thinking maybe it's sciatica since it's going down my leg, and it's the area where it hurts is consistent with sciatic pain, so whatever, it doesn't matter, I just need help. So, before I talk about like all the things, show you the things I got at Houston, I didn't get a lot because I was by myself in a booth, so I didn't have time for a lot of shopping, which is probably a good thing. It's not like I need any more. But I wanted to show you guys some of the finished objects that I had. I don't know if I showed you this last time. Let me go ahead and put it on this time. I like this a lot. It's called the Hun Cowl. I believe yeah, that's probably supposed to be the bottom. I'm going to mess up my hair, but oh well. I'll try not to. If you're very tiny, it will go over your shoulder. Oh, look at that. I'm not very tiny, but it does go over my shoulders. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I didn't know it would do that. But yes, look at this. Ooh. Hey. Thanks, Betty. You made me a little nice cowl poncho thing. My friend Betty knit this for me for a show sample. And it's funny. I thought the lighting in here was good, but it's definitely a darker, more goldy yellow than this. It's not this muted. It is a more muted yellow. It's not a really bright yellow, but it's more gold. And so this is what it looks like. And I do have 4 sets of yarn for this in the shop. It takes 1.5 skeins of my worsted weight yarn. The worsted weight yarn is not superwash, so you'll need to wash it by hand, but I think most of us are used to doing that. And I think that makes it nice and springy. I really like this yarn. I'm actually very happy to have something this big, because the only thing that I've knit with this yarn so far that I've kept, I think, is a hat. But yeah, I really like it. And you don't have to wear it like that. If you want, you can wear it so that it's up over, real cozy around your neck. You can wear it like this too. And this is Hun Worsted, and it's by Kino Knits, and she used my yarn to design the shawl, or the cowl. This is the worsted weight version. She also has another version. I think it's fingering. It might be DK. I'm not sure. You'll have to check on her website, but you can find the pattern on Ravelry. And I have kits for this in the shop for $30. Saves you the price of having to buy 2 skeins of the worsted weight yarn, which would be $40. So I just did kits for a skein and a half. So that's unworsted. That was one of my samples. And then this sample drew a lot of people in. And I knew when I gave her this yarn it was going to come out great. My friend Tania crocheted this for me because she is much faster than I would be. It would take me a while because I'd have to think more. I'm not a fast crocheter. It takes me longer. So this is the Virus shawl, and it's in the Stardust colorway. And I do have pre-orders for this up in the shop because it was so popular. I believe I sold a couple already, but I still have more available. I haven't dyed it yet. I'm still dyeing the ones for the people who ordered it. But it takes 2 skeins of the spider base, and that's fingering weight, to make this shawl. And I do believe that there is a tutorial by Fiber Spider on YouTube if you have trouble with the pattern. And there is also a DK weight version as well, I believe. But I did this one in fingering, and I gave her 2 skeins because I wanted it to be a nice size. Look, when I put it on, it's nice and cozy. And I get to keep this one too. I'm going to give Tania a bunch of yarn for this. And I also have some other things I'm going to send to her too. But anyway, it came out just beautiful. This is the same colorway I'm going to make the sweater in, but this one is the right color. It does not have all that. It has yellow in it, but it has more gray than the skeins that I dyed, that I'm keeping for myself to make that sweater. So that is the Virus shawl, and that's a free pattern on Ravelry. And then I also brought this, and I think I've shown y'all this before. I might have shown y'all the other ones, but I did want to show them again because there may be some new viewers who found out about me at Houston. So I wanted to talk to them about it and let them know that those yarns are available in my shop now. And this one, I have to put another pre-order. I did sell a couple of Chumley, which is this one right here. And that's for my pet, so I need to make another donation. Well, I'm going to see if I can sell a few more so I can make a bigger donation. But 20% of the proceeds from that goes to animal rescue. And this right here is Pale Man. I do have several skeins of that available. And then the bottom, this part all the way on the bottom, the gray, that's Graveyard. And I might have some, I know I have Graveyard on the Batty base. I might have some on DK, but I don't have any in fingering right now, I don't think. I will look and see. But this one, if I find that I have enough, I'll make some kits for it. Y'all let me know if you would like me to make kits for this shawl. This shawl is Dirt Roads and Blue Jeans, and it's by Jan Ewell, and she is Avalon Designs, and she's having a 40% off sale right now. So if you would like the pattern, you can get it for 40% off. And let me show you again. This is another asymmetrical shawl. It's very long. It starts over, I think I started, no, this is the end. I started over on this side right here. And that I started with Chumley, and then I moved to Pale Man, and that's where I did the lace, and then I moved back to Chumley. So you need 3 skeins of yarn. I ran out of Chumley, so I needed to put in another one. So I put in the Graveyard color because it was gray, and I figured it would blend in at the end, and I do really like the way it turned out. So those are the shop samples I had. And I did get a chance to get a few things, mostly from people around me because that's whose shops I could see. So the first thing I got is from a new To Me dyer. I guess they were at Dallas-Fort Worth, and they were in the small booths like I was last year. This is called Have Wool, We Will Travel. And this one, here's their label. And this is called Bird of Paradise. Look at that, y'all. She had made a Raina shawl with this. I was like, oh, I love that. But I'm going to make socks. Look at the orange. Oh, it's so beautiful. And the pinks. There's a little bit of red too. It's funny, it doesn't really look red in that. And the orange, the pop of orange is not showing. That is very, very orange. And there's some blue and it looks more purple. It's like purple blue. So this was my first skein. This is going to definitely be socks. I just think it needs to be socks. And then Diana Couture was there. And I walked by her booth and I saw this. I was like, oh, that's mine. That needs to be mine. Oh, and she has the strap. She makes a really awesome bag, y'all. Here is her tag. Diana Couture. This is a yarn owl. And yarn owls are her small ones. They're basically for socks. You can fit one skein. You could fit 2 skeins in here, but I'd probably just stick with 1 skein. And look at how cute that is, that fabric. Okay, y'all know I have 3 dogs. I love my dogs. But then they have like the cutest little sayings under here. Look, kitten around with the kitten on his head. And then this one, it says, Banana Split Sunday. And then there's a bunch of them. They're just so cute. Dachshund with donuts. A chat with a chickadee. They're just adorable. So I love, love, love this. And I love how it is because, see, look, in the middle, you can pull, so you can walk with this on your hand. You know, I also like to use these for connecting to my purse or spinning wheel because you have a clip there so you can go around it. But look, there's a hole in the middle, so you can put your yarn in there and just have it come out the hole and not worry about it getting all over the place. And it's shaped just like your ball of yarn, so it's perfect for 1 ball of yarn. Let's see. Let me put a ball of yarn in here. Let's do this. Oh, maybe I'll put my Ripple Bralettes yarn in here. I could use this for that. So, here you go. It fits right there. It's like and it fits in a circle. See? The yarn cake fits just perfectly in there, and so you just pull it through the hole in the middle and knit. So that was my second thing I got. And then this was the other booth next to me, and I kept staring at all her stuff because she does self-striping. And she had all of the, instead of knitting socks with them, she had a good idea. It was faster. I don't know how she did it. It was like, you know those little embroidery hoops? She had a bunch of little embroidery hoops, and she had knit samples of all the self-striping, like just to fit into the embroidery hoops. She didn't have to fit a whole sock, but it looked very neat, and it was a very cute display. So I kept looking, but I was like, I don't know if I want just 1 skein of her yarn or if I want more. So I kept looking at the mini skein kit. So these are all self-striping. So I'm probably going to make some mini scrappy socks, which I've always wanted to do, but I haven't ever done. And so I don't have to think because I have the whole set here, and I'm just going to use those together. I think that'll be a lot of fun. After Houston, I went to Philadelphia and visited my family, not my parents, but my brother. And what did we do? We went to Longwood Gardens. Unfortunately, I'm having a lot of problems with my leg. Like I said, I can't get around a lot. When I do, I end up hurting myself. I've basically taken like 2 weeks. I don't even know how long it's been since Houston. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks. The first few weeks were awful. Like, I really couldn't do much. And then when I went to my brother's house, I did some stuff during the day, but not a lot. I didn't really want to do a lot of walking. The most I did was when we went to Longwood Gardens. But my husband got to do some stuff with the kids in the evenings. Like, they went to see a basketball game, or not basketball. They went to see a baseball game. They went to see a professional soccer game. They had a party at somebody in the neighborhood. So I didn't get to do those things because I knew it would just be too much. But I did get to visit with everybody, and for July 4th, it was nice. We had my sister-in-law's mom came over, and we all had dinner together. So they did a lot of barbecuing for us, which was really nice. Thank you guys for that. That was very good. So that's what I did. last week, and next week is SSK. So I'm excited about that. I don't know if I showed y'all this. I have not joined a lot of yarn clubs lately because the last one I joined was the Stephen and Penelope. While I really liked not all the yarns, I liked all the dyers that were involved, and I liked Stephen West patterns. But I was really kind of disappointed in the colors that came with some of them and the bases. Like, I'm not really big into singles. I'm just not. And the color that I got for some of this stuff disappointed me because it was a pretty expensive thing. I really liked the first pattern with the Ushitita yarns. I love her yarns, and the color was beautiful and the pattern was beautiful. But then some of the other ones I was really disappointed at. The yarns were nice, but the colors were not that exciting, and I kind of thought Stephen West would be more like have more pop to his stuff. So I haven't joined one since that last year. But this is Miss Babs had all these pictures of tropical stuff, and I just fell in love with the color. What do you call those inspirations? And look, it's a little octopus. I love octopus, you know, because I have my octopus bag. How cute is that? So this was the inspiration, and here's the yarn. Ooh, I got all of them on sparkle because she's got a different sparkle base than I do. It's more, I think this sparkle is somehow, maybe it's spun in with the fiber and not put in later, not plied in, because it's lurex, I think. Is that what this one is? And I think that it's a different, yeah, this one has lurex, 92% superwash merino wool, 8% lurex, and it's 400 yards. And it's a fingering weight. But look, isn't that beautiful? I just love that. I think it goes great with the inspiration. So, and my second shipment, I guess got noticed that my second shipment is on its way. I also, when I was in Philadelphia, we did get a chance to go to Loop Yarn Shop. I wanted to at least hit one yarn shop. So we went to Loop Yarn Shop, and just down the street was a used bookstore. So I was like, this is my place. This is me. So I got a whole bunch of books. They had a sale. That was like buy 3, get 1 free. So I did that. And then at Loop, I got one indie dyer yarn. Somebody I hadn't heard of before, but I liked the colors she had. It's called Dye is Cast Yarn, and she's from Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if she's from Philadelphia. I think she's from the Philadelphia area. But this is going to be a pair of socks. I like all the different colors. I think this will be a beautiful pair of socks. I haven't knit socks in a while, but I'm kind of getting back into it. It's fun because I don't have to think too much. I basically know what pattern I'm going to use most of the time. And this, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. This was half off, so it was a great deal. This is Fair Cotton Craft, 100% organic cotton from Katia. And look, it's like a gradient, or a gradient stripe. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I was thinking, this is a lot of yards. It's like 500 something yards. Let's see. Yeah, oh no, 678 yards. So I'm going to either make a shrug. I may break down and make one of those crop tanks, even though I said I wouldn't. We'll see. I'm not sure how far this amount of yardage will go. But I'm thinking shrug, or I was thinking shrug or crop top, or they had made a baby thing with this, but I don't think I want to use that for a baby because they'll just outgrow it, and that's a lot of yarn. I think it needs to be something for me. So I had those two thoughts, and there was something else I was thinking about doing. I could make a shawl with it, but I don't think I want to make a cotton shawl. I like my wool shawls. So that was one of the things. Those are two of the things I bought, and I did buy something else, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was or where I put it, so I don't know. I do want to show you guys. I only brought 2. I should have brought more, but I do have, this colorway is Jaws, and this is Jaws DK. And I sent some of this to a designer. She's a crochet designer. She's called the Underground Crafter. Her name is Maria Sagaris, and she has used my yarn before for a pattern before. I think she is planning to make a bag with it. That's what she made with the last skein I sent her. But I do have a couple of these available, and when the pattern comes out, I will have some more available. This is 1 DK weight skein of yarn, and it is the Ghost base, and it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, which means it's also good for socks, y'all. So you can make socks or you can make the pattern, and I will let y'all know when that pattern comes out. And I also wanted to show this. I really love how this came out. This is a color I was trying for. I can't remember what exactly I was trying for, but it did not come out as I expected, but I really like it. This is a new color. It's because it's got some smoky colors in it, and it started out as a red. I decided I was going to call this Where There's Smoke. So where there's smoke, there's fire. And I love the way it came out. It's got subtle shadings. It's a tonal yarn, but it also has some, it's also been over dyed. So it's got a lot going on, and I think this is going to be really beautiful knit up. So that's another new one that I will be putting up. I'm not sure when my shop update will be. I'm shooting for probably Monday because I need time to take pictures of everything. For now, it will be in Etsy, but I am looking into moving over. I just need to do a good amount of research before I decide. I got, there's this thing called Yarn Market News that you can get, and it's for indie people or people who are dying or in the yarn industry. And it did have a nice article about how to sell from Instagram. So I'm going to go back through that and look at it, take a look at it, see if I can figure it out. If I can figure it out, I will probably move to Instagram to sell my stuff. So if you do not follow me on Instagram, I'm Undead Yarn, and that's where most of my shop stuff, that's where I post all my shop information. Oh, that's not it, because I do need to talk about the winners. The Finisher Frogget, which is what I'm working on my socks, so striping socks for, because that's a thing that I've had sitting forever. If you have your items sitting around that you have not finished, you can enter them in the Finisher Frogget if you frog it or if you finish it. What I would like you to do, and I haven't been as strict about this, but what I really would like you to do is post your project before you start, like where it is. It doesn't matter how much you have done of it, but I want you to post your project that has been sitting. Post a picture of that. You need a project page, of course. And then you're going to post a picture when you finish it or if you frog it. You can do either one. Either one will qualify because we need to get those things either out or finish them. We don't need to have 20, well, I have more than that, 20 bags sitting around your desk with whips in them. Anyway, I did pull for the winner for this month, and Shirley123 from Virginia, Shirley Knits 123 from Virginia is the winner. And you win this skein of Lollipop yarn. And I will probably wind it for you because it is coming unwound. I might just go ahead and wind it into a cake. I'm not so great at putting them this neat way that she does, so I'm probably going to wind it into a cake to send it to you. But Shirley, let me know that you've heard this and send me your address so I can get it off to you. And for next month, I did not bring it down, but I do have a skein of Jitterbug, Culinet Jitterbug, that will be the prize for next month. And Summer Yarns won the FO prize in Undead Yarn, and I've sent her a pattern, and let me see if I can pull up what she knit. She actually knit a pair of socks with, oh, that red yarn I showed you guys, that Roadkill yarn. She bought the first skein of that, and then somebody else bought another skein of it at Houston Fiber Festival. And she knit a pair of socks with that yarn. So I get to see, it's nice, I got to see what it looks like. So when I dye it up myself, or not dye it up, when I knit it up myself, I know what it will look like, or kind of what it will look like. It will look a little different because I'm going to be using a blanket, but I have an idea of what the colorways look like. So let me see if I can pull that up so I can show you guys what she won. She won well, she won a pattern and she asked for a blanket pattern, so I gifted that to her already. If I do not get around to a podcast early in the month, I will always make sure that I tag the person who has won from the FO thread. And here is, she made the Whiz Bang socks, which is by Sarah Shoe, and Sarah kindly gifted that to me when she had put it out. I need to knit some socks too. I don't think I'm going to use this yarn. This is the yarn she used. It's that red roadkill colorway that I showed you. I really like them. It's hard to see the pattern here, but if you get up close, you can see the pattern in the socks. So she won a skein, or she won a pattern for that. And I just want to let you guys know, if you're going to post in the FO thread, you need to have a pattern page, because that's the whole point, is for me to be able to show people, like, look, I have these pages in Ravelry. People have knit with my yarn. This is what it looks like. So please make sure you have a project page if you're going to post in the finished object FO Undead Yarn thread. And like I said, every month I will pick a winner from that thread and you get a $7 or less pattern. Is there anything else I need to talk about? No, I know. Okay, shop update probably Monday. And I'm still on Etsy for now, but go follow me on Instagram if you don't already, because I'm hoping to figure out how to do that. Hopefully by August I will have figured it out and I will have moved over. I don't think there's anything else that I need to talk about right now. I think that I've covered everything. If you're going to SSK next week, I will see you. Oh, and I did want to say, Laura Crocheting Hoovian, kindly, she gifted me her latest pattern. I forget what it's called, but it's one of those patterns that you can use mini skeins with. So you use like a solid color and a bunch of mini skeins, and it's asymmetrical. If you look her up on Ravelry, she's a Crocheting Hoovian. She has been putting out a bunch of patterns, and I believe she's also started dyeing. If you look her up on, like I said, on Ravelry, you can find out where her shop is. And there was something else that I was going to say. Oh, I've been playing Wizarding World, so if you want to follow me on Wizarding World or friend me, let me know. I think maybe I'll go ahead and put up my friend code on Ravelry. I've put it on my Instagram, but I put it on my private Instagram, so you may not have seen it. So I'll go ahead and put my friend code up on Ravelry. I'm having so much fun doing that. The only thing that's annoying is I went to the mall and I went right like when it was opening, and they have all these like buildings that are supposed to be open, and they're not open. That's the second time I went to the mall. Like, people, open your buildings to us Harry Potter people. We can't get in. That's the whole reason I went to the mall, is to go into those little the shops. I'm not sure what they are. I went into the game place, had theirs open, and that was like, actually 2 gaming places had theirs open, and you had to fight people to get points. And I don't know what it is, if I don't have enough points or I don't know what I'm doing, but I got my butt kicked. So anyway, oh, and I also wanted to mention, I have a group of friends that we talk to each other on one of those platforms, and it's all people that I met at SSK, and it's been so much fun, y'all. I enjoy talking to you guys so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at SSK. I'm going to be staying in a bed and breakfast with some of my friends that I met from Austin and also from SSK. But then there's this other group of friends that I have that are going to be staying in another house, and I'm looking forward to seeing them too. That's one thing I really love about SSK. It's not just SSK, but also Zombie Apocalypse and different retreats that I've been to. I really have enjoyed meeting people, and I truly have friends that are all over the United States, and also some that are outside of the United States through these retreats. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, SSK is my next thing. Beyond that, I don't know if I have anything planned at this point, except that I know I'm going to be going back to work soon. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good summer, and I will talk to you later. So with that, get busy knitting or get busy dyeing.